Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking the beautiful game and, well, decoding it. We're transforming what can honestly sometimes look like just chaotic running and a whole lot of shouting into a clear, strategic chess match. We're going to take 13 dense, highly specific tactical concepts and distill them right down so you can understand exactly what those managers are constantly engineering on the sidelines. If you've ever watched a match and wondered why a team is suddenly sitting super deep or why a striker is randomly popping up in the midfield, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to make sense of the whole shebang.
We're going to break this all down into 4 key phases: organizing the defense, winning the ball back, orchestrating the attack, and manipulating space and shape. Keeping this structure in mind is really going to lower the cognitive load and help us see exactly how teams battle for control over a 90-minute match. Let's jump right in.
Phase 1, organizing the defense. Okay, so let's start without the ball.
Every single team has to figure out exactly where on the pitch they're going to draw their line in the sand. At the absolute deepest end, you've got the low block, which you've probably heard called parking the bus. You are basically packing everyone behind the ball near your own penalty area just to frustrate a stronger team and cut off those dangerous passes. Then you've got the mid block. This sits roughly around the halfway line and is definitely the most common approach. It saves massive amounts of energy while still forcing the opponent to just endlessly pass sideways. And finally, there's the high press. This is defending right up at the opponent's goal to force critical mistakes and create immediate, absolute chaos. Now, inside those defensive blocks, teams have 2 totally different philosophies for how to actually mark the opposition. Man marking is super specific. Your defenders stick to their assigned guy like glue to neutralize that individual threat, though, clever offensive runs can definitely drag them completely out of position. Zonal marking, on the flip side, relies heavily on structure. Defenders protect pre-planned areas instead of just chasing players around. But here's the catch. It requires incredibly brave defenders who are willing to attack any ball entering their zone, totally regardless of who is sprinting at them.
Moving on to phase 2, winning the ball back. The split second the ball changes hands is where the modern game literally explodes in pace.
Enter gegenpressing, or counterpressing. Man, this is a terrifying tactic. You instantly swarm the opponent, the literal millisecond you lose the ball. Why? Because an opponent transitioning into an attack is naturally spreading out, and in that exact moment, they are heavily disorganized. If you strike right then, you are attacking an unprepared defense. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that demands just Olympic-level physical fitness, but it completely suffocates opposition counterattacks before they can even get off the ground.
Now, on the other hand, if you aren't swarming high up the pitch, and instead you're choosing to sit deep in one of those low or mid blocks, you're going to use counterattacking. This is the art of waiting. Just waiting for your opponent to make a mistake high up the pitch. Once you win the ball, you attack forward at absolute full speed before the other team has any chance to recover their defensive shape.
And to be truly ruthless here, counterattacking teams don't actually need dozens of chances. They rely on some very strict, rapid requirements. Sit deep, stay organized, wait for a mistake, and then strike with 1 or 2 incredibly sharp forward passes right into space. The whole goal is just to catch their fullbacks when they are pushed way too high up the pitch and exploit a wide-open midfield for lethal, stretching breaks with your wingers sprinting down the sides. All right, phase 3, orchestrating the attack. We've got the ball back, so how do we systematically maneuver it up the pitch to actually score? Well, this brings us to a massive philosophical clash. Tiki-taka is almost like a methodical training drill. It's patient possession, just endless short passes designed to exhaust the opponent, make them chase shadows, and eventually completely break their defensive shape. But then, on the absolute opposite end of the spectrum, you have direct football. Forget the midfield entirely. This relies on quick, long passes right up to a strong target man to win headers and snag those second balls. It injects fast, weatherproof chaos straight into the opponent's half. Another devastating offensive staple is wing play. By making sure your wingers are practically hugging the touchlines, you physically stretch the defense horizontally. This creates massive gaps. It pulls central defenders totally out of their comfort zone and sets up numerical overloads. The end goal? Delivering punishing low cutbacks or high crosses right into the box for an easy tap-in. Finally, phase 4, manipulating space and shape. We are elevating now to the advanced geometry of modern football. Think about this for a second. What actually happens when a striker completely abandons their traditional post? It creates this absolute nightmare split-second dilemma for a center back. We call that nightmare the false 9. Instead of hanging out up top waiting for crosses, this striker drops way deep into the midfield to act as an extra playmaker right between the lines. So if the center back follows the false nine into the midfield, boom, they leave a massive gaping hole in the defensive line for opposing wingers to aggressively sprint into. But actually, if the defender decides to stay deep instead, the false nine is just left completely unmarked to turn, link up play, and create freely. It is a brilliantly manipulative tactic.
And that spatial awareness really peaks with positional play. This tactic isn't really about individual tricks or flair. It is purely about intelligent spacing. You divide the pitch into specific zones, and the team fills them perfectly to basically move the opponent's shape around like a giant puzzle. By maintaining perfect spacing, the guy with the ball is practically guaranteed 2 or 3 safe passing options at all times. You're just seamlessly dragging defenders out of position until clean chances open up. Which sets up one of my absolute favorite lethal moves, the overload and switch. It's just pure mathematical manipulation. First, you deliberately build up heavily on one side of the pitch, which naturally drags the opponent's midfield and defense completely across to match your numbers. And once they take the bait, you ruthlessly hit them on the exact opposite side with an incredibly fast, long switch of play. Your far side player gets the ball in acres of space against a desperately scrambling defense.
Now, it's really vital to remember that no team operates in a vacuum. Nobody uses just one single tactic for 90 minutes. While these concepts cover about 90% of what you'll actually see, the real magic is in the endless variations. Top-tier coaches are constantly cooking up these situational hybrids based on the specific players they have, who the opponent is, and the minute-by-minute flow of the game. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time you sit down to tune into a match, what are you going to see? Are you just going to see 22 players endlessly chasing a ball around? Or are you going to spot the intricate, deliberate chess match unfolding in real time? Look for those zones, keep an eye out for that false nine, and watch the board come alive. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and enjoy the beautiful game.